and Sibongile Marokana is one of the few female football club owners in the country and continues to challenge the status quo in the male-dominated world of football. She's the owner and chair of Lerumo Lions Football Club in the Northwest Province and hopes to one day see her team play in South Africa's top flight. But how does she plan to do this, and how challenging has it been for her in that male-dominated environment? Well, she joins me here in studio to answer those questions directly. Thank you so much for joining me, Sibongile. And of course, it is all about Women's Month. And as we wrap things up, we have to zone in on your role in the world of football, starting with how you got into football. I know you were a former player. Some people don't know that bit. But what is it that drew you to the sport and ultimately made you decide you wanted to own a football club?
Okay, thanks, Andee. Thanks for having me, firstly. It's a passion, honestly. It's always been a passion. I've always been drawn to the sport. And I like to tell people that it's a calling as well, you know. So at the end of it all, I knew it was the right time to actually begin with this journey.
And why then did you decide to take it to football ownership? This isn't your first rodeo, so to speak, because you did have Bokone Football Club in the Northwest as well, where you were a part owner. Why do you want to be right at the top of things?
Okay, maybe I need to fix the Bokone issue. Bokone was a partnership, but I actually wanted to be alone. A cousin, a relative, we decided to go into partnership together. It didn't work out. I just ventured out on my own. But it was just, for me, the right time. I just felt now I need to be more hands-on. I need to be more involved in the sport. You know, some of the things you notice, these gaps in between, and you feel like, oh, if I could change this, if I could do this differently. And I felt having my own team is the way I can make it different, is the way I can put that change or bring that change through.
And I wanted to actually go into what happened with Bokone, not so much in terms of, you know, the saucy side or those details, but perhaps the lessons then that you would have learnt from that experience that put you in better stead as you then stepped out on your own and formed Lerumo Lions.
I think the biggest lesson for me, you can't trust anybody, or everyone, let me put it that way. You can't trust everyone, and the world of football is full of people with tricks, to put it mildly. So you need to be cautious. If you've got a vision or a goal that you want to achieve, never derail from it and end up adopting somebody else's vision, which might not be aligned to yours. So I think you need to be firm, first and foremost, and that's the biggest lesson I've learned, to be firm and to actually, you know, be more decisive.
Do you find that makes it a bit more difficult, though? Because you're talking about being firm. Do you find that because you're a woman, there is that assumption that you're not able to do that, or people would be more tempted to take advantage in situations?
They try. I must say they do try. Unfortunately, I am a tough cookie, if I should say that. But no, they do try. You get undermined all the time. But I think because I'm in male-dominated environments, obviously, the industries, I experience it a lot. I kind of cope with it much better. Because, I mean, I've had to deal with it for a very long time. But they do try, they'll underestimate, they'll make comments and think they'll break you, you know, small little things, but we move.
And if you're using those experiences, and I want to perhaps use this as an opportunity to educate those that might be coming after you, because as a pioneer perhaps in that world, what are some of the tips then that you would give to other women who are in that football space that would help them to better navigate it?
Honestly, the biggest one is make sure you're passionate about the sport, because if you're not, you will not have the patience for it. It's really tough. It's really difficult. The challenges are a lot. And most importantly, don't compromise yourself, because I've found that every second person that wants to talk to me thinks they can hit on me. Every second person thinks, I can help you here. You need to know, do your research. You need to know what you're talking about, because I'm telling you, every second phone call, every second person I come across, male person I'll come across, they'll try and take advantage. You know, they'll always try to press the buttons. So you need to be firm. You need to know what you're talking about. You need to know the rules of the game, the regulations, the uniform rules. It's very key and important so that no one can actually take you for a ride.
Do you think there's enough being done about that within the space, though? Because you speak about something that is quite a serious issue. We've seen in recent times even an official at Amazulu Football Club was sanctioned for, you know, sexual harassment within that space. Do you think there's enough attention and focus that's being given to addressing some of those issues that females within the football space might have?
I feel that the means to deal with these issues are there, but people are just looking the other way. I think that's the sad thing about it. Once you mention it, it's as if you are targeted, you put in the spotlight, you know, you are made to feel like you've said or done something shameful. Once you express that you are going through this or you're having these challenges and people are trying to take advantage of you every corner of the way, I think the means to deal with the issues are there, the processes are in place, but people just choose to look the other way. And that's the biggest challenge.
And before we move into your vision for your club, the Lerumo Lions, how then would you advise that this be dealt with?
I would think we need to have more females as well in terms of the governing body. I think it will lighten things a bit more because it's also still a male-dominated space. And I think it will assist because I think once we are female, we're able to support each other better. Sometimes it's difficult to talk to a male and have to express that you've been harassed or you're going through such sensitive issues. Maybe at that moment to speak to another male is kind of difficult. There's relationships that they might have as well. It's also a challenge. So I think having more females as well in the space would be quite good.
Well, you've been handling it quite well. So let's go into then your vision for Lerumo Lions. I think I said in the intro that you have said quite boldly that you want to see this team in South African top flight football in future. What is your plan to make sure that you get yourselves there? You're in the ABC Motsepe League at the moment as a side representing the Northwest. How do you make sure that you step up from there and you get to that premiership status?
Okay. I think obviously ignore the noise. That's the first thing and the most important thing that I do. There's a lot of noise. I plan to get to the PSL. I need to groom these young boys. I need to assist as many young boys in the process as possible. But with that being said, I need to get them to my ultimate goal. And my ultimate goal is to be in the Premier League. So that process is a bit of a challenge. But I'm working hard, I'm pushing all the way, I'm motivating these boys. I'm self-motivated, by the way. So it's in the pipelines. I see it in 2 seasons, actually, because I am literally fighting for promotion this season.
But I have to ask you, you're talking about supporting young boys. Is there work going into supporting young girls? Are you establishing a football team for, a female football team and trying to do work on that side as well?
I like that you raised that question. Because I'm female, people automatically expect me to say, I want a female team.
Yeah.
And with me, it's a process. I needed to learn the game. I needed to understand the game. And then from there, grow within it. I don't believe in throwing all my eggs in 20 baskets because I won't be able to attend to all of them, do you understand? So I'm one person that focuses on one project. Once I see it through, then I move on because there's more challenges with the female teams. So I can't start then throw myself in the deep end. I need to get myself where I know the systems are already in place, understand the game, and then try to bring it now to this side and support the females, young females.
You're giving hope to the people of the Northwest Province. It's been a while since they've seen a team in the top flight football, if you're thinking of the likes of Platinum Stars and the likes. So how do you make sure that you keep that excitement within your local community? Because we know your football club, Lerumo Lions, is about, building excitement amongst the locals there in the Northwest.
First and foremost, I am the only female in this league within the province. So I think that's exciting enough. It should be. And I bring my games to Bethany, which is the local community that I support. And I think for them it's exciting that somebody would come and do this in this area. No one really has spoken big about it. We know there's a mine, but what more? And now I'm bringing all this attention there. I'm helping these young boys as well that are struggling with substance abuse. There's a lot of substance abuse in the Northwest. In fact, I've got relatives, my nephews, that have been through that process. And I think watching it closely, I know how to deal with it better as well. So I'm assisting the community in helping these young boys, giving them something to do. We call our team a hospital, to kind of say, because everybody comes with a different story, a different injury, and they need healing. And this is a place of healing for them.
Very quickly, we are out of time. There is a concern about financial viability in football. Clubs getting sold, statuses being bought. How do you make sure that you don't suffer the same fate?
I think it's planning. I think the biggest issue is planning. So these leagues are different, right? You've got the Premier League, they've got grants, they've got their own subsidies. You've got the NFD, they've got their own Motsepe championships, they've got their own subsidies. You've got ABC Motsepe, which is quite different because the support is not the same. So when you plan as an owner, you look at the level that you want to start in. and you look at what are the cost implications, your transport, accommodation, is it viable? Obviously, depending on what you want to do. But I think planning is quite important, especially when there's no support financially.
All right, well, that's where we'll leave it. Planning is key when there's no support financially. And it's going to be about planning to get to that top flight football. That is, of course, Sibongile Marokana, who is the owner and chairlady of Lerumo Lions Football Club.